What's up YouTube? I'm here to do my prediction video for Lawler versus Brown. Starting from the bottom, we got Schulte versus Gilbert Burns. Schulte is a freestyle fighter. He's pretty good everywhere, but not great in any one spot. Gilbert Burns is a jiu-jitsu guy mostly, but he's got really good hands. And I think Gilbert Burns is going to win. I think he looks like a really good prospect. I think that he can win this fight no matter where it goes, and I got Gilbert Burns winning. At featherweight, we got Steven Siler versus Noad Lahat. I know Lahat. I think he's the karate fighter. I can't quite remember, but he's the karate. I think he's a karate fighter, and I think Steven Siler. He may not be the greatest striker ever, but he's got really good grappling, and I think he's really big too. I think if Steven Siler just keeps the pressure on this guy, he'll be able to tire him out and submit him either late in the second or early in the third. So I got Steven Siler winning by submission. At lightweight, we got Kabar Arullo. These guys have some crazy names. I swear to God, what the hell? Thiago dos Santos. I think both these guys are okay. Neither one of them looks amazing. I feel like this fight's kind of just, one of those fights that they have to throw in the card and make it an even dozen. I got Akbar winning this one. I think he'll win by split decision, but I think this one could go either way. Neither guy really looks that amazing. Next we got Michael De La Torre versus Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega, if you don't know who he is, he's this really, really good grappler. He's a Gracie fighter. Fights out of Renzo Gracie's school, I think. And, Michael Del Toro is pretty good too. He's really well-rounded. I think he's got equal number of wins by knockout and submission. But I think all of his losses except for one are submission losses. And like I said, Brian Ortega is a really, really good jiu-jitsu guy, and I think that if you've never seen Brian Ortega fight, he's really exciting, and I just see him getting this fight to the ground and winning by submission. I'm going to say first round rear naked choke. It's just, when you have that many submission losses and you're going up in a beaten guy who's a really good jiu-jitsu guy, it's hard not to pick the, Next we got Puerto. I think he's a guy from Ultimate Fighter versus Tim Means, and I think Tim Means is going to win by knockout. I don't really care that much about that fight. Kyle Kingsbury versus Patrick Cummings. Back in like a year or two ago, Kyle Kingsbury was really working his way up. He won like 4 or 5 straight, and then he lost 3 in a row. And I remember him saying he was going to retire. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he had one more fight on his contract, and he just wants to do it before he retires. He hasn't fought in like a year, and Patrick Cummings has already fought twice this year. And I agree with Dana White when he says, when guys fight more, it seems like their timing's better and they're just more, in shape because they have to stay, that they consistently be in good shape if they're fighting that much, As for Kyle Kingsbury, he hasn't fought in over a year, so I think Patrick Cummings is gonna win this fight by TKO. I think Kyle might look good in the first, but I think all that time off is gonna hurt him, so I think Patrick Cummings wins by TKO late in the second or early in the third. Next we got Darren Cruikshank versus Jorge Masvidal. Both these guys are the same, where they look like they could be top 10 guys, but they're just, I wouldn't even say inconsistent. It's just some fights they look really amazing, and other fights they look extremely subpar. And it's just, they're both like that. You see some fights where these guys just look like they could fight for the belt, and then other fights where it's like, how is this guy even in the top 15? I'm going to pick Darren Cruikshank just because I think if the fight stays standing, his striking's better. You never know. Jorge Masvidal, even though he's primarily a striker, he's got really good wrestling too. So Jorge could decide to just try to wrestle with this guy, but I don't think so. I've never really seen Jorge Masvidal try to wrestle offensively. Like, defensively is really, he likes to sprawl and brawl, and I think that, I don't think that's the greatest idea in every single fight. I think in this fight, if he tried to wrestle, he'd win, but he never fights like that. So I think Darren Cruikshank is gonna outpoint him and win a decision. On to the main card, Josh Thompson versus Bobby Green. I like both these guys, but I think Josh beat Ben Henderson easy in their fight. I think, you know, people thought Ben won just because he landed a lot of strikes, but a lot of the strikes he was landing were those little foot kicks that did no damage. I thought Josh won. I really think it was close. I think Josh should be fighting for the belt right now. That's just my opinion. I like Bobby Green. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's showing the Jacob Volkman fight that he's getting better against wrestlers, but Josh, I think, is a different level than Jacob was, and I think if this fight goes to the ground, Josh will win by submission, and I think this fight will go to the ground sooner or later. So I've got Josh Thompson winning by submission. Next we got Clay Guida versus Dennis Bermudez. These two guys are pretty much the same fighter. They both like to keep a high pace, just go after stuff non-stop, attack no matter where they're at, and they try to break their opponents, but I don't think either one of them is going to break each other. But I think Guida's experience is going to be the difference in this fight. You never know. I think both guys are really good. I just think the difference is, you know, they both almost have the exact same style. I think Dennis Bermudez is a little bit better of a striker, as Guida's a little bit better of a submission guy. But I think Guida will win this one by split decision, mainly because of his experience. I do think this will probably be the fight of the night. Next we got Anthony Rumble Johnson versus Nogueira. I can't see Nogueira winning this fight. I mean, because I don't even think it's possible for him to get this fight to the ground. And Anthony Johnson, I think, is just going to knock him out. I mean, it's not like Little Nog's never not been knocked out. So I got Anthony Johnson winning by first round KO. On to the main event, Robbie Lawler versus Matt Brown. I think people are expecting this fight to be one of the best fights ever, but I think Robbie Lawler is going to do what Eric Silva did. Matt Brown, I've seen in a couple of his fights now. It was not just the Eric Silva fight, it was the fight before that. I forget who he fought before that, but there was a fight where he was getting tagged to the body and he almost went down from it. So I don't know what it is, you know. It was like with Tito Ortiz, it made no sense. He could take some pretty decent shots to the head, but like you hit him in the body and just goes down. I think Matt Brown's got that same problem where he can take shots to the head all day, but you hit that dude in the body once and he starts to go down. And I think Robbie Lawler is just going to do exactly what I just said his name. He's just going to throw body kicks and throw punches to the body, and I think he's probably going to finish Matt Brown in the first round. You know, I think they're both really good at stuffing takedowns, and I just see Robbie Lawler hitting him in the body and finishing him in the first. Sorry if you guys are expecting that fight to be great. I don't think it's going to be great. I think Robbie Lawler is going to win the first round, TKO from body shots. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe.